Well, we're just heading into March, and I wanted to give you an executive and board search briefing of the things that I'm noticing in the market across the board. It is incredibly challenging. It is a very, very mixed market of opportunities. And for executives who are thinking of a career move, you're going to have to really put a proper strategy in place to successfully undertake a move. There's no doubt that we have seen a little surge in roles appear on the job boards. So the job boards are full. There's a lot more opportunities coming through, and that includes for board director appointments. There are board director appointments available right across the market, so that side of the market is extremely buoyant. We definitely are seeing a lot of roles and a lot of opportunities. In the corporate world, though, we're getting a lot of mixed signals. We are still seeing, even at the early stage of this year, a lot of redundancies happening in a wide range of fairly significant corporate enterprises. Optus the other day announced redundancies. There are several of the banks releasing executives into the market. And I do not have a single conversation going on right now with an executive who isn't telling me that their partner just got made redundant or their company is doing restructuring. So there's a lot of corporate restructuring going on, a lot of redundancies, and a lot of people getting caught, quite frankly, off guard. So, there is very minimal employment security, these days. So executives, the security is really in not just who you're working for today, it's in your own skill set, it's in your own networks, it's in your own connections in the market, and that's where you must place the investment. We had a couple of executives recently who moved jobs after being made redundant, and they didn't apply for a single job ad. They simply relied on their business networks to get re-employed. So it was absolutely confirmation, proof of life that you really do not need to tap into the advertised job market, which is saturated, very competitive, and it's hard to get out of the pile of resumes. You can leverage your business networks if you've put the hard yards in there. So we're certainly seeing a lot of corporate restructuring, we're seeing redundancies, we're seeing a real pushback on salaries, and this will also catch a lot of people off guard. We've got executives who've waited too long to get back into the market because the salary was not right. There are massive corrections happening around salary packages, and the problem with that is the cost of living's gone right through the roof. So, a lot of people can't actually physically afford to take a pay cut, and yet if they don't take a pay cut, they may not become re-employed, and it's that precarious. So there's a lot of really challenging issues in the market, and then on top of that, we all know there's issues behind the scenes around mortgages. Mortgages have gone through the roof. Some mortgages have gone up by $25,000 per annum. That is a really significant, level of movement in, household budgets and how to accommodate. And of course, most people, predominantly drive their wealth through their salaries, the income that they earn from their employment and their activity. Now, I'm seeing an absolute surge in the gig economy, and I came across a couple of executives the other day on the Fivers and the Elancers and the freelancers of the world who are earning not just six figures, they're earning seven-figure income by offering their services on these platforms. So if I was an executive and I was being made redundant and I thought I had a 6-month window to get back into the market, I would be getting straight onto these platforms and I would be offering my services. And I'm seeing a huge demand for things like resume writing, copywriting, marketing, business plans, sales plans, graphics, design, anything to do with website design. It's just gone through the roof. And so if you have skill sets, soft skill sets that can be leveraged, writing, translation, anything to do with preparing information, there is a gig for you in the gig economy, and you can be sitting from your computer and earning at least a modest level of income. And I appreciate appreciate that it might take a little bit of time to get it up and established, but it definitely is worth looking at. Now, it could be the thing that saves you. And personally, if I was an executive, I'd be running something like this in the background. I would be running a side hustle. I would have, some sort of side business. I've got a business at the moment. It's an e-commerce business in the pet care market. This business would generate an extra 100,000 plus for an executive in addition to their day job. And so you've got to look for, I think, different ways to protect yourself from the volatility. I think generally speaking, the executive market is challenging. It's not impossible to do a career move, but you do have to make a lot more effort, and the move will take a lot longer than you think to pull that move off. And when I talk executive, I'm talking 150K plus roles in the market. There's definitely a delay in hiring these executives, and I've got a lot of clients who've gone for multiple interviews only to be told at the last minute we've decided to go with an internal candidate. That happens a lot. So that means you've got to have a lot of activity to counteract companies that are going to change their minds or lose the headcount at the last minute. So it's interesting times. The board market is very buoyant, so there's plenty of opportunity to pick up an additional board seat this year. And the side hustle market is booming. The gig economy is booming. So really think about how you could maybe recalibrate your household budget. And if you are unemployed, just be really practical and sensible about getting back into the market. You might have to make compromises. You might have to compromise on location. You might have to compromise on income. I think everyone has got very set in their ways that the job has to be on the Sunshine Coast so I can work from my home computer because I want to go surfing in the morning. Okay, well, that's all well and good when an economy is booming. But when an economy is not booming, you've got to consider, I've got to go to Melbourne, I've got to go to Sydney, I've got to go to Brisbane, I've got to relocate, I've got to get an extra, property organised. You've really got to think laterally. If you're going to survive and really, pull in the right opportunities into your portfolio. And I think the number one theme is portfolio careers. This is really the trend. It has not gone away. It's really the way you have to operate going forward. You're going to have a portfolio, a collection of activity that you do that enhances your networks, your income, your experience. And keep in mind, the number one investment you can always make is in yourself. So always put some money aside, if you can, each year to improve your skill set, improve your marketability, so that you're in demand and you're going to be highly sought after as a business executive. So that's the briefing for March 2024.